A concept album where an individual is living in a reality where he's not quite sure if everything is real, and he might be the master of his own domain, and he doesn't know who the creator is. He might be his own creator. Yeah, that sounds like Between the Buried to me. Automata 1 by Between the Buried and Me. So, Between the Buried and Me doesn't really need too much of an introduction. I'm going to give one anyway. US tech metal, death metal, used to be death metal core, went straight up into a progressive death metal. The technicality of these guys is just, it makes your face melt brilliant. The guitar work on here, instead of being in the minor chord like a lot of death metal, they play in the major chord, which makes such a brilliant style of music on here. Now this is an EP. It's coming in at just around the 35-minute mark, and this is something that the band has done in the past. Like, they've done this with the Parallax. Automata 1 just it satisfied me. Now that isn't to say that it is a perfect addition to the overall discography. It's not blow down the doors, hallelujah, we have a masterpiece on our hand, but it is a pleasant listen to from start to finish. It starts off with the song that we've heard already, which is Condemned to the Gallows, and it follows suit similarly with what we've had within Coma Eclectic's first song within the Coma Machine, but instead of being so disjointed and out of the craziness, it feels more unified and it feels more whole and succinct. The drumming styles is a notch above what we had with Coma Eclectic, so very nice work. They've definitely elevated their music in that sense. It's not as dark and as guttural as I was kind of hoping that it was going to be, just in comparison with some of their past works, but I've noticed within the past that they've been moving away a little bit from that, but there are still some really, really heavy moments on here. And I do enjoy the fact that once we've come out of Condemned to the Gallows, the house organ, Yellow Eyes, Millions, and Gold Distance. I love that all four of these tracks really blend into one another, and I love that transition from house organ to Yellow Eyes. They took what I really, really enjoyed from Coma Eclectic, which is that really trippy, really out of this world kind of synthesizer playing around that Tommy does a lot of. He's kind of taken forefront within the musician work as opposed to just a straight up vocalist, and that's found on the house organ. And I love kind of that noodling away that he does on the little synthesizer that he's got. But Yellow Eyes has that really grounded, heavy style that I was really excited for. And I love right at that 4-minute mark where it's got that guitar playing where it's that that picking style. Really enjoy that. And then it goes into that main chorus that we had at the beginning, and that's such a smooth transition. So it just slides right in there. And I love, again, that transition into Millions. Those transitions are just so flawless. It makes it feel like it's one track. Within Millions, that skipping note that we have, that singular skipping note that really leads the song into the main playing styles, just a great little addition to the song. And then that Millions kind of transferring into the Gold Distance, and I love how that transition happens, because the drum work kind of goes in and out and then in and out, as if whatever machine or whatever it is that's constructing this world is kind of fading a little bit, and it's kind of jolting and lagging a little bit, so that when we get into the Gold Distance, it's just that atmosphere. And then it ends with Lot, and it's a fun little track, little being the longest. But this is also where one of the downfalls are, because I figured with Blot they would have really hunkered it in to build it up like we've had within a lot of their albums, but I just didn't quite feel it on this. And I know a lot of people are loving this track, but I'm not quite feeling it as much as I was hoping I would. It does have that build up, and it does have that clawing itself out of whatever simulation that we're in, but when it finally gets out of it, I was hoping for some of that blast beats that open up the pit and let chaos reign, but it never really got to that point. It was too structured and too organized for that chaos to reign. and I feel like a little bit more chaos would have really spiced things up when we got to that play out at the end. Now, I think this album did exactly its job of giving me the taste of wanting more, because this is part one. I'm sure in the next couple of years we're going to have part two, and that's just going to be a Goliath, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, this is an interesting album because it is essentially an EP, and EPs are always interesting for me to rate. My overall enjoyment of this album, I'd probably say it is a stream as a complete work, but my overall enjoyment as like an addition of their music as an EP is more on the lines of downloading this album. I'm definitely going to say stream this album. This is one that made me want more. I loved every moment that's on it, but I'm probably not going to revisit it as much as I have some of their earlier work. This one, it didn't quite blow my mind as much as Parallax Part 1, but it did make me want more. So I'm going to stream this. I'm going to come back to it. That's my overall rating. So what did you guys think of Automata Part 1? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, let me know by commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are definitely the best. And until next time, out.